In our last video, I tried to explain the connection between the mythological thinking of mankind and the idea of the artificial intelligence. I'm going to tell you briefly, very briefly, about the persons who made a huge contribution to mathematics, physics, logic, and mechanics. We will cover the time period from 17th century to the end of 19th century. These historical individuals had eventually become the pillars of sciences from which the artificial intelligence was created. So I just mentioned the 10 names and one important historical event. Let's start. René Descartes was a French philosopher, mathematician, and scientist. Developed the Cartesian or analytic geometry. The presentation of unknowns and knowns also denoted a fundamental place for algebra in common system of knowledge, using it to automate or mechanize reasoning. And by the way, even now we know the mathematics as science of abstract things. Gottfried Wilhelm von Leibniz was a German philosopher. He developed the integral calculus, invented the Leibniz wheel, and he, I want to note, refined the binary number system which underlines all digital computers. Wilhelm Schickard was a German professor of Hebrew and astronomy. In 1623 and 1624, Wilhelm Schickard, in his letters to Kepler, described the construction of what he referred to as arithmeticum organum, arithmetical instrument, which would later be described as a calculating clock. The construction was made to assist in all four basic functions of arithmetic: addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. Blaise Pascal was a French mathematician, physicist, and Catholic theologian. While he was a teenager, he started some work on calculating machines, and after 50 prototypes, he built 20 finished machines, called Pascal's calculators. Pascal wrote the treatise on the arithmetical triangle. In 1653, described a convenient tabular presentation for binomial coefficients, so-called the Pascal's triangle. Sir Isaac Newton was an English mathematician, theologian, physicist. One of Newton's most important papers laid the foundation for calculus, but that wasn't by no means Newton's only contribution. He developed the so-called Newton's method for finding successively better approximations to the zeros or roots of a function. The generalized binomial theorem was created to Newton. This theorem describes the algebraic expansion of powers of a binomial. Julien Offray de la Mettrie was a French physician and philosopher. He had a medical career. He is best known for his work L'Homme Machine, or in English, Machine Man. In this work, de la Mettrie extends Descartes' argument that animals were mere machines to human beings. He also denied the existence of the soul as a substance separate from matter. Before I continue to tell you about other outstanding individuals, we should remark the importance of the Industrial Revolution. This process included going from hand production methods to machines, new chemical manufacturing, and iron production processes. So the key point for us is going from hand production methods to machines. Bernard Bolzano was a Bohemian mathematician and theologian. He was the first to recognize the greatest lower bound property of real numbers. Bolzano also gave the first purely analytic proof of the fundamental theorem of algebra, which had originally been proven by Gauss from geometrical considerations. He also gave the first purely analytic proof of the intermediate value theorem, also known as Bolzano's theorem. Mary Shelley was an English novelist, dramatist, and biographer, and best known for her novel Frankenstein of the Modern Prometheus. That tells the story of Victor Frankenstein, a young scientist who creates a grotesque but sapient creature in an orthodox scientific experiment. George Boole was a mathematician. He worked in the fields of differential equations and algebraic logic, and is best known as author of the Laws of Thought, which contains Boolean algebra. Boolean logic is credited with laying the foundations for the information age. Boolean algebra is named after him. The keyword bool represents a Boolean data type in many programming languages, but Pascal and Java both use the full name Boolean. Charles Babbage was an English polymath, a mathematician, inventor, and mechanical engineer. Babbage originated the concept of a digital, programmable computer. Charles Babbage, or the father of the computer, is credited with inventing the first mechanical computer that eventually led to more complex electronic designs, though all the essential ideas of modern computers are to be found in Babbage's analytical engine. His varied work in the other fields has led him to be described as preeminent among the many polymaths of his century. So, thank you for watching this video. I hope it was enjoyed. In our next video, I will try to tell you about the 20th century. The history of artificial intelligence there was very, very exciting. Analyze and dare to know. Subscribe. Subscribe. Make sure you're subscribed. See you soon.